Hello there, and welcome to my guide on Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese Rebooted, Night 5, with all the challenges on. So, before we jump in, and I won't do the entire night again, but I'll show you like the first hour of the night or something. So, we're gonna go in custom night, and we're going to explain every single character who's in it and what they do. But before we do that, we are going to explain the challenges. Some are simple, some aren't. But there's one challenge I'm going to explain after I've explained these people, but that will become obvious when we get to it. So, starting off with the first, normally I think the first challenge you should turn on, and that is long nights. Now, a normal night in this game is 6 minutes. Long nights doubles that to 12 minutes. Now yes, 12 minutes is a long time, but it's not too bad. It's just basically surviving longer. It's not the worst thing in the world. You can get used to it. Next up, we have got power mode, which I used to think was probably the worst one to turn on. It really isn't. There's another challenge that's worse to turn on. So power mode makes it so having your lights in your office on now drains power, and you start the night with 500% power, and it depletes rapidly with the lights on, meaning that for about 80 to 90% of the night you're gonna have your lights off, and you're really gonna only turn them on to like find the stage light, find the lever, check if Chuck E. Cheese is there, on aggressive, which is the other challenge I'll explain later, and things like that. It's not too bad. All you'll need to do is either remember where the buttons are, or quickly turn on your lights for like half a second. Like for example, when you're dealing with Munch and the cameras are here, just turn on your light for like half a second, so you can click cam 1 and then you can just like click downwards, pardon me, and you'll get the idea. So that's the two simplest challenges, and then there's aggressive, which I will explain later once I've explained these people. So I'm not going to explain the custom night characters yet because they're not in this night. It's night 5. So we're going to be explaining everyone on normal, and then we're going to be explaining them on aggressive and what changes, because some don't change very much, some change quite drastically, and then I'm going to show the strategy itself, and then that'll be the end. So Chuck E. Cheese, it says it will move randomly through the cameras and end up at your back door. Having the gate shut will keep it away. So, some extra things to note. When he's not on aggressive, he will always make a sound cue when he's at your gate. I'm assuming, seeing as you've gone on the video called Night 5 All Challenges, you're going to know what these noises are. But if you don't, it's basically Chuck E. Cheese speaking, and sometimes he'll say things like, "Hi there," sometimes he'll like do a little song. He'll say like, "I will not be replaced," things like that. You'll get the noise. And when he's on 20, you'll have around 10 seconds to close it. On night 5, I'd say maybe have like 15 to 20 seconds to close it. He's quite lenient on night 5. So as soon as you hear that, just turn around and close it. This doesn't change with long nights. It changes drastically with aggressive, but again I'll explain that later. And with power mode, the only real problem would be finding the lever, but if you have trouble with that, just turn on your lights for like half a second, like this. Don't know if you heard that, you probably didn't, but you just really quickly do it and then you can find it. But you know, on normal he's not too bad. Dog, I don't know the names, sorry about that. It says it will move from the play area to the arcade and end up at your desk. Using the stage call will keep it away. When it says move from the player to the arcade, that doesn't matter. That's completely useless information. You're not going to be checking the cameras for him, so it doesn't matter. All that matters is when he's at your desk. When he's at your desk, like it says, use the stage call. This is a character you should normally prioritize over everyone. when you're dealing with the dog, the Helen, I think her name is dealt with, and Pascali is dealt with. So that's 2 characters dealt with immediately. You'll already be dealing with him, I can explain it in a minute. And Chuck E. Cheese will most likely kill if he's there. No, sorry. Chuck E. Cheese will most likely kill you. So yeah, you want to deal with him and then deal with Chuck E. Cheese. And Mr. Munch normally doesn't take priority over dog. But the main issue with dog is with Chuck E. Cheese. If dog appears before, you check Chuck E. Cheese and you've just started closing the gate, unless you're on aggressive and the dog appears. Again, if you're not on aggressive, then you should turn around, get rid of dog, and then quickly get to Chuck E. Cheese. I'll explain aggressive later, but other than that, dog is not that bad, but can cause some problems. Costume is the literal only reason you're on cams other than Mr. Munch. You'll basically just want to stare at him the entire time. So he starts on cam 4, I believe he moves to cam 5, then 1, and then either 2 or 3, I'm not sure. Well, he'll end at arcade, which I think is camera 2, so probably I think he goes. No, never mind. I'm sorry. I think he goes cam 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, if I'm right. And after 2, he'll end up in your office door. When he gets to your office door, which is pretty rare, if you're doing this strat right, it's pretty rare they'll end up at your door. I'm pretty sure on my winning attempt he didn't even move, and if he did, he only moved 1 step. But if he does get to your door, he'll basically make it so you can't close the gate. If you start trying to close the gate, he'll hold the gate open, which means that Chuck E. Cheese will be able to get in and kill you, which is a bit of an issue. So you want to make sure he doesn't do that. Power mode doesn't really affect him too much. Just make sure, just keep checking that he's still there, because obviously you don't want to be sat in the dark watching a camera and then realise, oh wait, hang on, you're not even on the camera he's on, he's just zoomed towards you. That wouldn't be great. And long nights obviously doesn't affect him. And to be honest, no, never mind, I'll explain aggressive later. Right, Mr. Munch says it will leave his portrait and go to a random channel, finding it will keep it away. Mr. Munch is a bit of an odd character. He will either make a voice line to show that he's gone, which is very obvious. It says like, nobody will save you. It's very obvious, trust me. However, most of the time he won't make a sound cue, and he'll just make the same crashing sound that Helen, Dog, and Chuck E. Cheese make when they come out of their portraits. So basically, with the strat that I'm going to show you, all you need to do is, once dealing with Chuckster, he will most likely appear, and you'll just want to check all the cameras. Like I said, if you're on power mode, just quickly check you're on camera on, and then click cam 1, and then just slowly click on down the cams until you eventually find him. There is sometimes a chance that if the signal goes out on your cam at the worst possible time, it won't count as seeing Mr. Munch, which can be an issue, and it will probably get you killed. So one of the best ways to avoid this is just stay on the camera for like an extra half a second and you've got a chance. If the signal goes out again, you might as well just restart. That's just an unlucky run there. And aggressive, I'll explain aggressive later. Helen says it will move from the entrance to the bathroom and end up at your left or right. Using the stage call will keep her away. So this is it sounds very bad of a character. It's not. I kept on thinking that she will appear like as soon as she leaves the bathroom, she'll be in your office. That's not true. She can only appear in your office once you've turned around to the gate where Chuck E. Cheese is. Meaning that if you just never turn around to the gate until you deal with Chuck E. Cheese, she can't kill you. But while dealing with Chuck E. Cheese, she can kill you. But even on 20, I don't think she doesn't have time to kill you while you're dealing with Chuck E. Cheese. So Helen is very rarely a problem. All you need to do is, while you're dealing with Chuck E. Cheese, once you're done with him, use a stage call. Something that I'll mention in my strategy. Actually, I'll mention it now, but then I'll mention it later as well. If you basically want to deal with Dog, and on the second time he appears, check if Chuck E. Cheese is there. If he's not there, you want to turn around and check cams. That's when Helen can be an issue, but not really. If he's not there, that means you would have turned around, and you'll have turned back around, and that means Helen will be there. So you just need to remember, oh, even though I've not dealt with Chuck E. Cheese, I still turned around. I need to deal with this. Again, I'll explain the strat in much more detail later. And finally, Pascali is basically the character that doesn't really do anything. It says it will randomly become active upon leaving your camera system. Quickly turn on the stage call to keep it away. All you really want to do is every single time you come out of cams, like, you know, cam buttons like here near where the play is, you just want to click it and quickly put your mouse near where the stage call is so you can deal with him. He's not too bad at all. The only real issue that Pascali makes is that if him and Dog appear at the same time and you click the stage call button, Dog's sound cue where he's in the room will turn off for some reason. Meaning that the only way you'll be able to tell that he's left the room if you're on power mode is by either turning the lights on or seeing that, you know, like the lights have like kind of flickered for a bit. Even though the lights are off, you'll see it. But that's really the only issue that Pascali makes. Now let's talk about aggressive. There are some characters that I don't, unless I'm wrong, I don't think are affected by aggressive, like Pascali, and Costume and Munch. Munch, Costume, and Pascali, I literally think the only difference on aggressive is that they're a little bit more aggressive. Not by much. I literally think that's the only difference. But Chuck E. Cheese, Dog, and Helen have some differences. Let's start with the minor difference, Dog. The difference between him is that once he ends his sequence in the office, on normal, he will disappear and kill you like 5 seconds later. On aggressive, he kills you instantly. This changes basically nothing. You know, if he's disappeared and you fail to get rid of him on normal, unless you're right at 6 AM, you're gonna die anyways. So it doesn't really change too much. Then we're gonna move on to Helen. Helen has a major difference. Her major difference is that once she leaves her portrait on aggressive, she'll be in your office immediately. But like I said, she still can't appear in the office until you've turned around. So it just means that every single time you turn around, if she's not in her portrait, she will be there, which is, to be honest, kind of helpful because you know, you're not gonna ever mess up, which is kind of helpful. And finally, the main issue on aggressive, the main problem is Chuckster. What is wrong with Chuckster? Well, Chuckster has one difference in aggressive, but it is such a massive difference that changes everything. And that is the fact that his sound cues are removed. The sounds that he makes, like his speaking and his sounds that he sings when he's at your door, are gone. This means that you will have to check every few seconds or so if he's there. However, you don't actually need to do this with my strategy, which I'll explain in a minute. But most likely, yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is probably the biggest issue. Right, so aggressive. I think I've explained aggressive on everyone. So now we're going to discuss the strat and then get into it. So the main strat is start off by finding Mr. Munch, because on aggressive, every single person, so Chuckster, Dog, I've just had a mind blank, I forgot your name, I don't know why, and Helen, leave immediately. Meaning that you need to find him quickly and then get on Costume's camera. Once that's done, well, obviously you'll do this with the lights off. The first thing you do, turn power off, obviously, and then, you know, maybe turn it on for like a second to find the cameras, click through them, and then get to cam 4. Once you're on cam 4, every time you're looking at Costume, lights off. There's no need to have them off. And get your cursor on the exit, just ready to leave. Once you've done that, you're going to get rid of Dog when he appears, and you're going to go back in cams and stare at Costume. And you're going to do it, you're going to just stare at him. Then, you're going to deal with Dog again. Once you've dealt with Dog the second time, you're going to start the cycle to deal with Chuck. You're going to turn around. If he's there, if Chuck is there, you're going to start closing it. If Chuck is not there, you're going to turn around, deal with Helen, and then turn back around, and he should be there and you should deal with him. Something to note with Chuck E. Cheese. I keep saying Chuck E. Cheese. On aggressive, while you're dealing with him, if you let go of the lever, you instantly die. Which is why it has to be after this guy. However, on my attempts, I have noticed that these two line up pretty well on night 5. So, that's good. That's a good strategy. Once you've dealt with Chuck, if you turn around first and he's there, you deal with Helen, and then you deal with I've forgotten your name, and then you go back onto Costume. If it's the second time, Helen should still be in her portrait, so you find Mr. Munch, there's his name, Mr. Munch, and go back onto the Costume. And that is what you do for the entire night. Something to remember is obviously, you know, every time you come out of cams, make sure you deal with Pascal if he's there, but he's a pretty minor character. And what I just said there is the entire night. That is what you do for the entire night. That's the strat. That's it. So now, we're going to quickly check if I've got the challenges on. I think I do. Yeah, they're all on. And I'm going to put my mic a little bit away, so if the quality goes down a tiny bit, that's why. And we're just going to jump in to night 5. I'm just going to show the strat. And I'm going to try and explain it just for a bit. Lights off. Yeah, that's how we found him. I'm going to meet the goals, obviously. And we're on his cam. We're just going to sit here, got a button on the exit, and that's going to be it for a while. Until we hear the Dog enter. Like that. Now we're going to watch him. Yeah, we're just going to do the same thing until Dog appears again. Right, so you see that Mr. Munch is gone. And then we're going to deal with Chuck because he's definitely there. We're going to hold it for a bit. Turn around. Use the stage call to get rid of Helen. And go back on his cam. And that is the whole night. That's the first one, so we're not going to check. We're just going to check if that's Chuck. It's not Chuck. Oh, I've just forgot his name completely now. I think that's him. Yeah. Perfect. Got it. Chuck's to there. He is. Deal with that. Now I'm going to deal with Helen. And that is the entire night. That is basically what you do the entire night. If you do that without making many mistakes, that'll be it. I thought this was the second hardest thing, but as soon as I found that strategy that I've made, it wasn't that bad. So thank you very much for watching the guide, and I hope this helps you. Oh yeah, I was going to say hope you get a red star, but I don't know if this is everyone, but I beat it and I got a white star, which is not right. But that's going to be the whole video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.